Welcome. Galaxy Z Fold 5 and the Galaxy Z Flip 5 has just been released by Samsung, guys, and believe it or not, I didn't watch anything besides some tweets, no YouTube videos, nothing, although of course there are tons of them. But no stranger to the internet, I read probably a few lines from a review from Phone Arena. And what actually drew my attention is the fact that there is almost literally no change in the hardware, at least for the camera, except maybe just for the chip. Which makes me think about this whole idea about releasing new models every year. Because if you have been living long enough to remember how it was years ago, for example with the iPhone, then the iPhone 2 and iPhone 3 and 3GS and iPhone 4 this year, and then the next year the iPhone 4S. And if you can relate this to, let's say, automotive business and car production, this probably makes a bit more sense to, let's say, release the next gen this year, use this as a platform to build upon facelifts, right? But be a bit more honest and transparent with the public, with the buyers that are actually buying these products. So once in a while, maybe every 2 years, just release the new platform. Next year just go with the facelift, and this would have been pretty much okay. I have no doubt that the Z Fold 5 and Z Flip 5 are great phones. They are. Agent 2 is really great. So of course it's going to be better. They are going to be better. Now, should you give the 1,000 euros in dollars if you are using the Z Fold 4 and Z Flip 4? It's going to be a tough decision. Well, if you run a YouTube channel like me, and of course if you get them out somewhere, then maybe yes. But if you have to buy it with your own money, then it's a bit debatable. Which makes me think about the big stress this company are putting on themselves, onto the R&D, research and development departments, to just come up with new models, new platforms every year. Maybe we need, or maybe the industry need to take a step back and just do this the way Steve Jobs would run it. Do the platform now, the next gen this year, then do the next gen facelift next year. So every 2 years come up with a new platform. A bit more honest, a bit more transparent to the users, the buyers, and of course probably just get rid of all the negativity. Unless of course you're able to maintain these very harsh, like you have only like 6 months to do your R&D and then go into production. So maybe even less than 6 months to just come up with the new ideas, guys. Just think about this. If you release a new platform, a new phone every year, you have very limited time to work on this. And we know how these big companies work. They probably have already plans for the S24, 25, 26, so they have to work with a time span of at least 3 to 4 to 5 years. They have these big roadmaps because of course you know how they run. They have the shareholders, they have to do the sales budgets, they have to also try to give back to the shareholders. So the competition is also very fierce. And what I'm saying is that all of this puts a lot of strain to these companies, and eventually they will try to slow down. Now, innovation is slowing down. I think we can say this. We've seen this also in Apple. Although now just think Apple is handling it a tiny bit better with introducing gimmicky-like features that somehow yet with very brilliant software tricks like the Dynamic Island can fool somebody that something is changing. But in fact something did change when they introduced the Dynamic Island thing. And I have an iPhone 14 Pro, by the way, don't use it so much, but it's there. Now what Samsung did is a bit more hard. They just took the same phone, probably better hinge, probably better display, probably bigger display, but the same camera, just the chip is new. They threw it, right? And now they have to either be very good with One UI 6, compensate with crazy good software features, or if that's not the case, which probably is, yeah, just take some negative opinions from the wider public. So this is kind of like what I think about this whole Z Fold 5 and Z Flip 4. And by the way, last year, guys, I used for a month and a half, 2 months, the Z Flip 4, and it wasn't a bad phone. In fact, I like it. And I tweeted earlier, the moment somebody is able to produce a foldable phone when this phone is collapsed, and if this phone is not so thick, probably just about the size of a regular phone, just probably 20-30% thicker, then maybe I would buy and use this as a primary phone. But still, it looks to me like more a product for early adoption. So I'm going to remain using the S23 Ultra until we see something better. So this is my opinion on this. Slowing down on innovation, trying to charge these high prices will not be perceived as something very nice from the wider audience. Also, of course, from me as being a very small YouTuber, so I'm not sure what the others are saying, but in fact, Apple were doing like more, like same thing, and then more of the same. Then Samsung was doing some Apple things, Apple was doing some Samsung things, and that's not bad because competition really makes those brands to kind of like develop. But with these production timelines, with the new model every year, with the shortened times they have for R&Ds, with these probably 3 to 5 years roadmaps, this is going to be increasingly tough. So yeah, let's see. It's going to be a tough domain, tough space. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to share your opinion. It's very valuable. Down below in the comments. Stay safe.